ever felt like you're eating healthy, but the scale just isn't moving, or you're eating healthy, but your cholesterol, your insulin, your sugar levels are just high and not budging? Today, we are going to talk about all those sneaky foods that are seemingly healthy, but can add up in sugar and calories. So welcome to the Natural Doctors. I'm Dr. Katie Dinello, along here with Dr. Jennifer Stagg. Today, we're diving into all of those seemingly healthy foods that might actually not be so healthy. No, before anyone gets mad, we are blanket statement here. We are not saying that any of these foods are bad. We are just really trying to help give you tools to make the best decisions for your health. Before that, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
We're just hanging on by a thread this week.
Yeah.
This is the 4th episode we filmed this week,
yes.
So we're a little
I think we're doing
sillier.
pretty well here.
I think
I'm
so,
like
too.
holding up my stamina, I think. But today is Ellie's birthday. Your little
My
pup,
dog,
right?
my sweet dog, you guys. I know it's like no one wants to hear about anyone else's dog, but
Unless you have a dog.
you have a dog.
So any of the
and you
dog
care.
lovers are
Yes.
gonna like hearing about this.
She's the best. We're so lucky. And I was reminiscing because my husband and I got her right after we took our first set of boards in naturopathic medical school, which feels like such a long time ago, but it was such a stressful time.
Yep.
And then we celebrated by getting this sweet little puppy. And she's 7 now, and she's so good with the kids. We did no training. Like, we truly
she's a good girl.
hit
So
the jackpot
sweet.
with her.
Totally, yeah.
And she lets the kids, my 1.5-year-old, like, climbs on her, rides on top of her, kisses her, pulls her tail, and she just lets it happen. And it's just the sweetest thing ever.
Yeah, so yours was a pre-COVID. We ended up with a COVID puppy. Yes, we were that family.
Yeah.
And our dog, we have a border collie, and he was born in 2020. So then I can go like, oh, I know how old he's going to be, which is like really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I posted a reel about with Cooper in it this week, and I'm like, he didn't get any love. I was like, poor Cooper. He only got like 5 likes.
What was the reel?
It was just, so it was me walking him because he's a border collie, so he's very active.
He's so active.
Yeah,
he
so like
has so much energy.
It was basically like, I don't need a step counter.
No,
I have a border collie,
I have
right?
Cooper.
So it's just him on a leash, but like probably the Instagram algorithm didn't pick it up.
Didn't pick it up. Well, it's funny too, because when my patients, I'm like, oh, how much do we exercise? What's movement like for you? And they're like, well, I take my dog on a walk. I'm like, all right, what kind of dog do you have? Is this a stroll? Like, you're not strolling.
Yeah.
You're like,
this is like how fast you walk. I walk border collie fast.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, I love it. Speaking about Instagram algorithm.
Yeah.
My Instagram algorithm has become, do not judge me. Do not judge me. People eating crumble cookies. But
I know where this is coming from, because we were doing a little research and thinking, well, not research, but just thinking about
some
like,
fun videos.
Yes, fun videos to do of like which foods that,
people are eating
pretty bad. That I'm going to say bad on that one.
Yeah,
that
crumble
one deserves
is bad.
a bad.
Yeah.
If someone weighs in and says that we shouldn't be calling that bad, then I don't care.
Exactly.
It's bad.
It's so true. The nutrition content on those is like, it's outrageous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, but now you can't get it out of your feed.
Right. So now it's like just people, like foodie accounts, right? Just eating crumble cookies with like massive...
whatever's new out, and they're just eating.
And there's new ones every week, right? So I'm continuously seeing these, and then I'm like, well, I gotta see what the flavors are, right? So I'm like watching these videos.
Like, oh, wow, they have that this week?
And then I'm like, dang, these do look really good. Like, maybe I'll go make myself some cookies with like a big glass of milk.
I mean, it has all the things, right? It has the fat, the sugar, the salt.
Carbs,
so it's going to really hit the pleasure center, so you can see how they make the money they make. And,
it's so true. It's so true. But so that is my algorithm right now. And then gardening, of course, because tis the season. And then I feel like, it's so funny. These reels come up where it's like, I felt super tired and overwhelmed. So I went out and bought plants so that more people or things could depend on me. And you were saying that too. You were like, my plants need me.
Yeah, I gotta get out. That gets me outside too. I mean, I love to be outside. And my real, like some of my algorithm things that are showing up would be, the planetary alignments and, Yeah. We're both Sagittarius,
Oh,
so then
yes.
it's all like, this is what's happening. Click on one of those and you'll never hear the end of it.
I know. Same.
Yeah. But I can't not watch them.
Same. Yeah. I'm always like, okay, what is happening for Sagittarius this month? Like, where are we? What? Yeah.
Yeah. Some are really spot on, and then some you have to know who to follow. There.
It's so true. It's so true. Oh my gosh. All right.
So should we give some content here?
Let's talk about things besides crumble cookies. But what I will say,
I mean, crumble cookies I wouldn't call that like on the list of things that we think are healthy and then are okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so true. Yeah. And if you are going to have crumble cookies, right, take a bite.
That's a big share.
It's a huge share, right?
Yeah.
Like, and make sure before you have them, right, have some vegetables, have some protein, so that you can kind of attenuate the major.
But we still don't advise because there's so many ingredients. They're like beyond just the calories. There's a lot of chemicals.
There's a lot. There's a lot going on there.
Okay.
Okay. So today we are going to talk about foods where patients think they're healthy, and they might be, right? But we just can overdo it so much. And so, we'll get patients, we see this all the time. So patients come in and, they're like, gosh, I cannot lose weight. No matter what I do, I can't lose weight. And they immediately tell me what they're not eating, right? You see this pattern a lot where patients are like, I'm not getting McDonald's. I'm not eating crumble cookie. I'm not going out and getting sweets and
Which
desserts.
Is great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's really good, and that's a great place to start. But they're not thinking about, okay, what am I actually eating, right? So then we get into the nitty gritty, and I'm like, okay, awesome, great. I love that you're thinking about this, but what are you actually eating in a day? And so then we start to realize, okay, these are some places where I think, you could be struggling here, and potentially this is why you're not losing weight.
Right, and it's pretty reliable that a lot of times it can be serving size on many of these things. That seems to be a common factor.
It is,
where
for
you
sure.
have foods that are really calorically dense, typically with high fat, and they're healthy foods, which is what we're going to talk about, but you eat too much of them and you like calories in, calories out actually still matters, right?
It still matters, right? So this is the thing is, it's not the only piece of the puzzle, but it absolutely still matters. And so I share this with a lot of my patients where, so I was a nutrition major in undergrad and thought I had a great idea of what I was eating. And I came across some research that showed that, people can underestimate what they eat by up to 50%. And I thought that's a huge amount.
Yeah.
And I thought, surely that is not me.
No, you're
I know
not me.
I know exactly what I'm eating, right? And so, every nutrition major, like you in one of your classes, you're going to end up tracking calories, right? You have to learn this stuff, whatever. So I'm tracking my calories, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am eating way more
You're like,
than what I thought.
That is me.
And, it's all healthy.
Right, and you were
foods.
vegetarian at the time, eating real food, right?
Exactly. I have always done that because I've always been interested in food. My mom was a great cook growing up. Like, we really didn't have a lot of processed foods. But, you can absolutely overeat healthy food too. So mindfulness around how much we're eating is really, really important, right? Yeah. So we're going to get into it. Okay. So
what should we talk about first?
Let's talk about
the big ones that people underestimate. Or?
I think granola is a huge one here. So let's start here. We did film a pretty funny reel with this that will be coming out soon.
Maybe will probably be out when this airs.
Yeah, probably pretty close to that. So make sure you check our Instagram. Jen may or may not be throwing bags of granola at my head. But so granola, what is granola, right? Granola is usually a combination of oats. Usually that's the base for most of them. So some type of carbohydrate and then a lot of nuts and seeds. Flax seeds, chia seeds, sunflower seeds, bunch of nuts, walnuts, almonds. There's so many types of granola. So,
and then usually a sugar.
Yes, to
on top
bind
of
it all up,
Yes.
right? Because you have to make it
I
crunchy.
make granola.
Yes.
Like I'll make my own granola.
yeah.
I've made it for the kids, but I'll use like agave. Typically, is what I'll use in there. But most, if you're buying granola, you're not going to find it with agave.
No, you're not. And there's going to be a ton of added sugar in there, right? So even if a bag of granola says high protein or low carb or keto, that doesn't mean anything, right? These generic labels on the front of bags of food mean nothing. You cannot be fooled by these. You need to flip it over and be reading those ingredients. You and I talk about this all the time where we get so dang frustrated, right? Because we see a new product and we're like, oh, that looks good. That looks fun. That looks healthy. And then you look at the ingredients and you're like, okay, this is a letdown, right?
It actually has a lot of sugar in there. Even like paleo granola, right?
No.
That's going to have, like, it won't have the oatmeal in there.
Right.
But it typically, a lot of them will have sugar.
Yep,
right?
exactly.
Like, well, not sugar, but honey.
Yeah, honey, right? Whatever, some sweetener involved. And then if it's paleo, it's going to be a lot higher in fat. Remember, fat is more calorically dense than carbohydrates or protein. And so you have to keep that into consideration. So again, there's nothing inherently wrong with granola. You've got your carbs, you've got your fat, you've got maybe a little bit of protein in there depending on what kind it is. So awesome, perfect. Granola is delicious. We put it on usually yogurt, right? Sometimes we'll snack on it. So the key with granola is that you really need to pay attention to the serving size.
So it's like a
little
sprinkle on top. Like we're talking, use a tablespoon. Just like put your servings on, maybe.
Exactly.
Right? Instead of like scooping with a measuring cup.
Right. Yep. Exactly. So for me,
or pouring it.
Yeah. My husband loves granola. My husband is so lean. He could eat and eat and eat and
He's one
never
of those.
gain an ounce.
Yeah.
So he always has a Costco-sized bag of Purely Elizabeth granola. Do I touch that? No. Because is it easy for me to stay lean? No, it's not. And am I just sprinkling that on my yogurt? No, I am dipping it in peanut butter. Like I am eating it out of the bag at 8 p.m. with peanut butter, which is also calorically dense, which we're going to talk about.
That's trouble.
So you just have to be cautious, right? So again, not good or bad. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about granola?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, cool. Next, let's talk about nut butters, right? Because this is also a big one.
Big
Again,
one. Like eating out of the jar, nut butter, you're going to eat so many calories. Like that's just a no-no unless you're an athlete, right?
Yeah.
Then go ahead and eat out of the jar.
Exactly.
You're like a 15-year-old hockey player, because I had one.
Yeah.
Eat it, and he didn't do this, but I'm saying like he could eat that out of the jar, no problem.
That's true, right? And so nut butters, people get into the nitty gritty here of like, which one's better, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care if you're doing almond butter, cashew butter, nut butter, pistachio, like there's so many.
They're all calorically dense.
They're all dense because again, they're made up of nuts. Nuts are not a protein. They have a little bit of protein in there, but they are considered a fat because they have more fat. Again, fat is more calorically dense. When you're looking at ingredient labels for nut butters, you want to make sure there's no added sugar in there. The other thing I recommend is you do try to buy an organic one because there can be a lot of mycotoxins comes from mold, right? In nuts, especially peanuts. So just be cautious there. Make sure there's no added sugars. But again, 2 tablespoons max, right?
Right.
Don't just
and not like scooping it with like your soup spoon, right? Because that's another thing I'll see. People are just like scooping that out on a plate or something, and it's just way too much.
It's too much. And the thing is, we also don't want to perpetuate, a really challenging time when you're just like thinking about calories and you're consumed with calories. But the reality is, if we want to be in a slight calorie deficit, 100 or 200 calories, that is the difference between measuring out 1 or 2 tablespoons of nut butter versus just,
and this is the context we're talking about. We're talking about for weight management.
Yes.
So yes, like if you just like your husband and other people, you go ahead and eat whatever you want. Like go ahead and do that.
That's fine.
We are talking about, if this ends up being one of our clips. Like, what?
People are going to be so
that?
mad,
Don't
but
do
that's
that.
okay. Bring on the haters, bring on the comments. It's fine.
That's how that will go. But we're talking about it in the context of, okay, you can't lose weight. And you're trying to figure out where you're going wrong here.
Yeah. Because our audience largely is women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, right? Perimenopausal, who are struggling to be healthy, feel good, and lose weight. And so we're trying to help you guys out here. Okay. All right. Anything else on nut butters?
No, I think you said everything there. Like making sure it's a good like quality and organic and everything is really important here.
Totally. Next thing I would say are smoothies.
Yes.
Dr. Jen, you love smoothies.
Yep.
Tell me, how do you make your smoothies?
Yeah, if I'm making a smoothie at home, then I am using typically Greek yogurt. So I'm putting protein in it. So that's what I tend to do. Sometimes if I want even more protein, I put some protein powder.
Sure.
So I'm thinking about that as a base.
Yep.
And then I'm putting dark berries in there. So that's going to give it like that color. So I'm usually using blueberries, like mostly blueberries, blackberries. I'll use maybe sometimes a half a banana, but not like it depends on how many I'm making this for now also, right? So this is thinking about like my smoothie for teenage kids.
Yes, it's true.
And then some greens like spinach, baby kale, something like that. And then if I need a little bit more sweetness, which I think that if I'm putting a banana in it, I wouldn't, right? But I might like drizzle a little bit of agave. That's my go-to. Like if it's like my youngest child and she likes hers, so not as much because the yogurt does give it more of that sort of tartness. So I might cut it a little bit with agave. Yeah. But that's how I'm making it versus like it just like fruit base as the primary, right?
I love it. Perfect. We're on the same page. Mine looks very similar. So
and I often put flax meal in there too. So it's upping the fiber. A little bit of fat in there.
Totally. So so smoothies can be really tricky, right? Because we inherently think a smoothie is healthy, but it really depends on how you're making it. These can become incredibly calorically dense very quickly. And then we have to remember that we're drinking it. So it's easy to drink a lot of calories versus eating all of that. So I tend to tell people, like, you want to think about, could I eat all of that food if it wasn't blended up? And then I even know for a lot of my patients who use Weight Watchers, which I have a lot of patients who have had great success with Weight Watchers, they actually, if you blend it and make it a smoothie, they add a couple points in there because they're factoring in that, you know, you might not be as full and satiated drinking those calories.
So that's really interesting.
It is interesting.
When it comes to a smoothie, right?
So you just want to be really cautious there. I tend to tell people, don't buy the smoothie blends. So at Costco has a lot of these where they're like packets that you can just pour into a blender.
That's like a puree sort of thing that you're putting in there. I mean, sometimes you can find things like, you know, esoteric brand, not esoteric brands, but you can find some, but it's unnecessary.
It's like, don't do that when it's so easy to just add the ingredients yourself, right? Again, it's like anything with less packaging, less processing, less convenience is going to be healthier for you. And I counsel people a lot on this. It's all about convenience. We live in a society that is centered around convenience. And usually if it's more convenient, it's not as nutritious. It's not as healthy for us, right? So something to consider. So typically, you know, with your base, I tell people, honestly, just go with water, right?
Yeah, and I would put water, like obviously to blend this.
We don't need
the
milk.
Frozen berries is what I'm typically using.
Same here.
Right?
You know, sometimes, sure, like if you want to add a little bit of milk, it's fine. But again, if we're thinking about total calories, it can add up. So just be careful there. And then your protein base, either yogurt or some protein powder or both. I'm dairy free. For the most part, yogurt does not usually sit well with me, so I'll typically just do a protein powder. You and I both love the Metagenics protein powders. It's not sponsored. We're not making money here. But
unless they want to sponsor us.
Metagenics, come on. We use all your products. Let's go. I've been using that Perfect Pea blend for so long.
Yes, it's so good.
I have researched this blend so much, and I spend a lot of time researching protein powders. Because
especially if you're going to take it regularly, you want to make sure you're not getting something that's, not good for you in the long run.
Yep. And then especially for muscle building, which I'm in a phase of that right now, the amino acid blend in that protein powder is great. The amount of leucine, isoleucine, valine, those branched chain amino acids is perfection. So that's really great. So you'll add your protein, and then you want to think of a fruit. Like you said, those dark berries are perfect. Maybe a banana in there, maybe not. And then a little bit of fat. Don't go over on the fat too much, right? If you're adding chia seeds and hemp seeds, and then
the
flax
calories,
and
I know, because
avocado.
I've counted this with patients when they're telling me all the things that they're putting in there. It can add up. And then sometimes people are putting avocado in these smoothies. Like they have half an avocado, and like the calories are going to get really high in there.
Exactly. So again, super healthy, but we want to be careful. And then what I will tack on to that is acai bowls, right?
Oh yeah.
I love a good acai
thing
bowl.
to talk about here.
But it's really similar. It's like, again, these foods are marketed as healthy, and they can be, right?
And they technically, if it's mainly fruit, but a lot of them have banana built in there and no protein in the base.
Juice and sugar and carbohydrate as the base for sure. Because acai is a fruit, right? So it's going to be naturally high in sugar.
And
not
way
bad.
more than you would ever eat just sitting down eating it.
And it's so easy to eat. There's a place right down the road from me where we go, and even after I had my second, like all I was craving that whole pregnancy and after I had him were just these giant acai bowls. They're so good. They're so good.
Yeah, no, my kids like those too. I guess just like this is not in the category of not good for you, but like an easy option. So if you're like a real smoothie person and you want to do something quick and easy at home and you're not doing the full blender, right? This is where you get the perfect protein powder, put that in. This is a common one that I'll make, and I'm just using the perfect protein. I'm typically measuring out, or I'm using advanced protein from Metagenics and getting like 25 grams, basically, is what I'm looking for of protein. And then I'm mixing it with water, first of all, and then I'm putting in some flax meal as well as moringa powder. So that's another great one, the polyphenols, and that tastes really great together. And then I might even put like a teaspoon of matcha powder in there too.
That's perfect.
Right? So
and
then
you just mix it up.
Those phytonutrients, and then I just use one of those shaker cups and pour it out. Perfect. Super easy.
And then you can like eat it as like an acai bowl type thing. Yeah, it's perfect. Great. I love it. All right. Next thing, dried fruit. So honestly, for me,
it's a pet peeve of mine, honestly, because it's just too high glycemic load.
It truly is. You guys, the only time I eat dried fruit, dried mangoes, is when I am training for marathons. Like when I am doing my marathon training runs.
That's
like,
where it belongs.
Dates, dried fruit, right? Like that is it. If you're doing a really intense endurance event, if you are doing intense hiking, like you're climbing Mount Washington or something, right? Like not a stroll through the park. That's the only time, truly. I mean, come at me, haters on Instagram, but like, I'm just going to say it. No, there's just no need. Your blood sugar spikes. There's no fiber. It's calorically dense, and it's hard to stop eating it. You know what I mean?
Oh my
like
gosh.
It's so good.
It is so true.
Yeah.
And so I'll give you an example, because I'm wearing my CGM. You can't see it here. And so I've been testing some stuff, and I was just having like a quick snack because I was too early to have dinner, and I had to head. This was before filming yesterday, so it was like off time. And anyway, I'm like, okay, I need something and I ate some like, I don't know, truffle Gouda. This is like, what's in the fridge? And some salami. This is not your level. This is what I'm telling the vegetarian
but like
here.
Delicious.
Okay,
delicious.
so I'm like, okay, I'll have that. That's my like fat. It was high, but then I had 2 dates with it. So and I didn't have a lot. Like I had like a small portion of this and 2 dates, and my blood sugar was up. I'd have to like look for an exact number, but it was up maybe 20 points.
So
and that's not coming from this. That's not. And this is where people go, okay, eat that sugar, have some fat and protein. That was super high fat. What I combined with that, and still a spike. Right. 2 dates.
Totally. And dates are so good. We don't have a lot of time yet, but I used to, this was before naturopathic medical school. I used to work near like a health food store where my office was. And I used to get dates as an afternoon snack, like every single day. And I was like, why am I gaining weight. Like, why am I, I got a belly. What's going on here? I'm like, oh yeah, that could be why.
Right.
Like there's a reason they taste so good.
Right. And everybody's like on the date sugar kick, you know,
I know.
Then it doesn't count as sugar.
Yeah. It's still sugar.
Yeah.
Okay. Really, really quickly, we both wanted to bring this up and we're running out of time. Oatmeal is another tricky one. Again, oatmeal is not bad. It's a great carbohydrate.
Yeah.
It's fine, right? But you have to really pay attention to the serving size, and then don't add in extra sugar, brown sugar, honey, maple syrup, nothing like that, right? And then caution if you're topping it with fruit, because a lot of people will do oatmeal, some dried fruit, and then a little added sugar. So if you're gonna do oatmeal, you can actually stir an egg in there as well, right? When you're cooking it, that's a really nice option, or some egg whites, or have some protein on the side, or
or protein powder people will put in, But on its own, again, we're talking about, you know, if you're really trying to figure out why you can't lose weight, what's going on here, are you having spikes in blood sugar, you know, you really need to look at that.
Absolutely.
Oatmeal
totally.
On its own.
So, you know, we hope that these strategies were really helpful for you. We are all about mindfulness and awareness with how much food we're actually taking in day to day. So if you've not taken a look at that, it might be time to do a little bit of tracking, right? Or work with a great dietitian, a naturopathic doctor, functional medicine doctor like us. So thank you so much for joining us. We are the Natural Doctors. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode.
What are you doing this summer? Do you want to belong to a community that embraces the creative spirit, not pushes it aside? Are you ready to explore your inner passions and meet lifelong friends? YPI is for you. Since 1981, YPI has served as an annual retreat, a home base, and a welcoming environment for the curious mind. You'll find an inclusive, sharing community where we are always learning. At YPI, your success begins with believing there are no can'ts and no won'ts. We're not your average arts camp. You don't need any special ability or talent because our professional staff will foster your interest in the creative arts at any level. Maybe it's a paintbrush, or a microphone, a camera, or a pen, or any combination of all of these. We inspire passion, build confidence, and strengthen friendships. We're YPI. Are you ready to find out what the YPI state of mind is all about?